Twitch this time.
You're off.
Hey, Grant. I'm Kent Nichols, the co-creator of AskANinja.com. We've been seen over 120 million times on the internet and YouTube and iTunes. I'm not here today to pitch an idea that I think you're going to love, but I think you're going to love it. I'm here to pitch you an idea that, I'm intensely passionate about. That's really kind of come to the fore because of some new technology, and I really need your help to make it a reality. So I'm just going to dive right in. So there's a lot of problems with Miller Lite and marketing and how you approach audiences and deal with them. You know, age verification, social media. It's a very kind of complex sort of haiku problem because you have to really nail that head. You can't have people under 21 sort of dealing with your brand due to all your other rules. So what I think you need to do and what I want to do is an event film. And an event film is great because it allows you to control who gets to see this film because it'll be projected at a 21 only over venues. So the people that will be tweeting about it, participating in the social media about it, will only be in that age bracket. And so it's inherently, you can control all of that. And so what's an event film? Well, right now, Avatar, 3D, that's all happening. But that's kind of becoming commonplace in Hollywood, and you're not going to out Hollywood. So what I'm doing is looking back what other filmmakers did in the 50s. And what they did to out Hollywood it was called Cinerama. Next slide. And Cinerama was the largest film. It was just a massive box office phenomenon. It uses 3 cameras instead of 2. Doesn't require goggles. It's projected on a 70-foot tall screen, 200 feet wide, massive, overwhelming to the senses. Next slide. It was kind of abandoned because it was too hard to do with old analog technology. Now digital technology makes it a lot easier. You can align it. You can do a lot more stuff. But again, completely overwhelming to the senses. It will be a newsworthy and buzzworthy event that people will go to, that you can have that narrow vertical to get really excited about in the film community. When I went to go see How the West Was Won projected in Cinerama, the person sitting behind me was Steven Spielberg. People in the nerd film community are very, very excited about this format. Okay, so next slide. So let's just talk about the story a little bit. We're going to take an everyman person. Let's just say Kent. So we start out. It's kind of like a Wizard of Oz, very bland, small frame. We meet Kent's wife. Next slide. Next slide. Kent's home is a foreclosure. Next slide. Kent's job is Glenn. Next slide. Kent's dog hates him. Next slide. And he drives a Pinto. And then one day, pretty girl hands him a Miller Lite. And then suddenly, next slide, we are transported to the vibrant widescreen world of Miller Lite-orama. Next slide. In the classic This is Cinerama, it was you're in the front seat of a roller coaster, very overwhelming senses. Next slide. Now we can paraglide over the Grand Canyon. Next slide. Be on jet skis. Next slide. Be in the Miller Lite car with Kurt Busch.
Last 15 seconds.
Next slide. Going down a mountain bike. Next slide. And your cheerleaders, everything else. It ends with a very rousing speech. Something like next slide. We're not going to make it. Damn it!
Okay, that's the idea over. Now
right.
Grant's your chance for the candlelit dinner with
Please.
Kent.
Hi.
So just tell me a little bit more about the idea itself. What you're going to be showing is...
It's basically an experience.
What is it? What's the content?
The content itself is placing this camera system in these scenes that in a way that is completely sensory overloading the audience. And so it would be an audience of hundreds of people at Lollapalooza, at NASCAR events, at IMAX theaters, at Cinerama Domes around the country, and you can control who gets into that tent because it's gate controlled by Miller Lite.
Is this more than an IMAX?
More than IMAX, absolutely. It is completely more than an IMAX. Sexy. So sexy.
Okay, and How would we actually get these things set up? Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, so you use local influence makers, and you roll it out like Paranormal Activity, which is a very small film. They did like midnight screenings in localities. I think you do it like that. So you build a social media strategy of people talking about it in very local but controlled ways. And then, like I said, because everyone is over 21, it will only be people in your demographic.
So it's about making an event. It's about you want to be there, you want to be part of it.
Absolutely. And then, like I said, you can cross-pollinate with all of your other sponsorships at other venues and live things, and just roll it out like that.
Is this one film, or are you thinking about?
I think to be totally effective, it's going to have to be a longer form film, worth people making it an event, 45 minutes to 60 minutes. But definitely, I think we can get a big chunk of it accomplished.
Okay, you're coming up to your last 15 seconds now, Kent. Okay, last impression.
What you want is an event. Viral videos are great, but they are ephemeral, and you're not able to necessarily guarantee virality. What you want is an event that will be newsworthy and buzzworthy. Thank you.
Whoa, perfect timing. Talking about the hashtag for today is South by Southwest matchmaking, everyone. And we're now ready. When you're ready, call on your third date, Grant.
Third date, I believe, is a lady.